Dear grade 11 students, how are you all? This lesson is about Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, who was born in 1737 and died in 1809. He is the author of The American Crisis. He wrote a number of essays or articles named The American Crisis, and this is article number one. Thomas Paine met Benjamin Franklin in London. You know Benjamin Franklin, the famous American, let's say, thinker, and the introduction changed both his life and American history. So, after meeting Benjamin Franklin in London, this meeting changed both life and American Thomas Paine's life and the American history. Paine immigrated to the colonies to America from England in 1774. With a letter of introduction from Benjamin Franklin, he began a career as a journalist. So Thomas Paine was a journalist. In January 1776, he published Common Sense, a book called Common Sense, in which he argued that the American people or Americans must fight for independence. The pamphlet, this pamphlet or this booklet, created a national mood of revolution. He encouraged people to uh, start the American Revolution against the British rule. Inspiring essayist, he was an essayist. Paine enlisted in the American Army toward the end of 1776. He was a soldier in the army. At that time, the army had just suffered a crushing defeat by the British in New Jersey. So the colonists were defeated by the British army in New Jersey and had retreated into Pennsylvania. They retreated into Pennsylvania after the defeat. The soldiers were suffering from freezing weather. The weather was harsh. It was winter, a shortage of provisions. They didn't have enough food or drink and low morale. Their spirits were low. Paine was writing the first of a series of essays entitled The American Crisis. Washington ordered Paine's essay read to his troops before they crossed the Delaware River to defeat the Hessians at the Battle of Trenton. Okay, so the Americans went back to win the next battle against the English army or the British army and their mercenaries. You know, a mercenary is a paid soldier. They were called the Hessians and they came from Hesse in German. The Hessians came from Germany. Okay. In 1787, several years after the end of the American Revolution, Paine traveled to Europe and became involved with the French Revolution. Though he wrote in support of the revolutionary cause in the rights of man, he was imprisoned. He was put in prison in France and for pleading against the execution of the overthrown French king, Louis XVI and his wife. They were killed by the guillotine. Uh, you know, Thomas Paine was against this way of killing them. While in prison, he began writing The Age of Reason, an attack in this essay or in this book. He attacks an organized religion. The book turned American public opinion against him. He talked badly against religion, but the American people hated him. And when he died in 1809, he was a broken man. Years later, however, Paine was once again recognized as a hero of the revolution. Uh, from the American Crisis, number one, written by Thomas Paine. If you can see here, this photo, this is the Atlantic Ocean, and this man represents Great Britain, and these are the colonists or the Americans. The British king or Britain controls them all. All of them follow him, but this man here gives him his back. Maybe this man represents the revolutionaries. Okay, and this is the text. Uh, these are the time that try men's souls, the winter. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink. Those who like to fight in the summer when the weather is fine, shrink from the service of his country. Now, those who prefer the summer will not defend their country in the winter, but he that stands it now Those who are fighting in this harsh, cold weather deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. When you do your best, you get better results. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. Easy come, easy go. This dearness only that gives everything its value. If you do your effort and try hard to get something, you will value what you will get. Heaven knows how to set a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial. An article as freedom should not be highly rated. Britain, with an army to enforce her tyranny, her dictatorship, has declared that she here refers to Britain, has a right not only to make us pay taxes, money, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if being bound in that manner is not slavery, then is there not such a thing as slavery upon earth? Uh, Even the expression is impious or impious, both pronunciations are correct, for so unlimited a power can belong only to God. God only has the right to control us, not Britain or any other country. Whether the independence of the continent was declared too soon or declared too long, I will not now enter into as an argument. My own simple opinion is that had it been 8 months earlier, it would have been much better. And he was for the declaration of independence. He was for declaring it earlier than that. I once felt all that kind of anger which a man ought to feel against the mean principles that are held by the Tories, the British people, or those who were loyalists to the British Army. A noted one who kept a tavern at Amboy, an important man who has like an inn or a tavern or a pub where people drink alcohol at a city or a town called Amboy, was standing at his door with as pretty a child in his hand. This man, a gentleman, standing in front of his pub or inn or tavern, about 8 or 9 years old, with his 8 or 9 year old son, as most I ever saw, and after speaking his mind as freely as he thought was prudent, finished with this unfatherly expression. The man said, "Well, give me peace in my day. Give me peace today, and I don't care about tomorrow." This is unfatherly because he doesn't care about the future of his son. He should say, "If there must be trouble, let it be in my day, that my child may have peace." He should have said it this way: "If there is any trouble, let it be now, because I want my future, the future of my son, to be better." Uh, so, uh, and this single reflection, well applied, is sufficient to awaken every man to duty. Not a place upon earth might be so happy as America. Her situation is remote from all the wrangling world. We are far from all the fighting people, and she has nothing, she here is America, nothing to do but to trade with them. A man may easily distinguish in himself between temper and principle, and I am as confident as I am that God governs the world, that America will never be happy till she gets clear of foreign dominion. America will not be happy till it gets or she gets its independence from foreign control. He means the British rule. Wars without ceasing will break out till that period arrives. And the continent must, in the end, the continent here refers to America, in the end be conquered. For though the flame of liberty may sometimes cease to shine, the coal never can expire. America did not, nor does not, want force, but she wanted a proper application of that force. Wisdom is not the purchase of a day, and it is no wonder that we should err at first setting off. We'll have some mistakes at the beginning. From an excess of tenderness, we were unwilling to raise an army. We didn't want to fight. and trusted our cause to the temporary defense of a well-meaning militia. A summer's experience has now taught us better. We got defeated in the summer, yet with those troops, while they were collected, we were able to set bounds to the progress of the army, and thank God they are again assembling. Okay, uh, I turn with the warm ardor of a friend to those who have nobly stood and are yet determined to stand the matter out. I call not upon a few. In this paragraph, in brief, he wants a larger number of people to turn out and go to fight the British control. He said, instead of going in thousands, please go in 10,000s or hundreds of thousands. The more, the better. Okay. Uh, Here he says, my own line of reasoning is to myself as straight and clear as a ray of light. Not all the treasures of the world, so far as I believe, could have induced me to support an offensive war. For I think it murder. But if a thief break, this is very important, into my house, I don't like to fight, but if a thief breaks into my house, burn and destroy my property and kill or threaten to kill me or those that are in it, and to bind me in all cases whatsoever, like the British rule, to his absolute will, am I to suffer it? Shall I stay silent? No. What signifies it to me? Whether he who does it is a king or a common man, I don't care. If this thief who breaks into my house and kills and burns everything is a thief or a common man, my countryman or not my countryman, whether it is done by an individual villain or an army of them, if we reason to the root of things, we shall find no difference. Neither can any just cause be assigned why we should punish in the one case and pardon in the other. And I don't care who, I don't care about who is the thief or who the thief is, if it is a king or a common person, a countryman, a person from my country, or a foreigner, or I will fight this person or this army. If it is a person or an army, there are cases which cannot be overdone by language, and this is done. This is one of them. There are persons too who see not the full extent of the evil that threaten them, that they solace themselves with hopes that the enemy, if they succeed, will be merciful. It is the madness of folly to expect mercy from those who have refused to be just or to do justice, sorry, and even mercy. Those who didn't show any mercy towards us will not be merciful. Okay? Where conquest is the object is only a trick of war. The cunning of the fox is as murderous as the violence of the wolf, and we ought to guard equally against both. A murderous wolf is as dangerous as a cunning fox, although foxes don't maybe kill us, but they steal our property and they are as dangerous as the murderous wolves. We should be careful of both of them. Thank you very much.